Good evening, third year B.A program English students. Let us begin with the discussion of Arms and the Man, a play written by George Bernard Shaw, first performed in the year 1894. Now, since this is a play, first and the foremost, we have to imagine it being enacted on stage. That is the first rule of when it comes to discussion of a play. Now, what is the play about? What is the significance of the title? The title is very important. Now, these are things that will be highlighted upon as the session proceeds further today. Now, first and the foremost, if we look at the background of the play. Now, before the background, let's look at the title, Arms and the Man. Arms here means weapons. Weapons that are used in war. And man, of course, means human beings. So the title itself suggests that the play is about the relationship, the equation, as we may call it, between weapons and human beings. So naturally, when it has to be about weapon and human beings, a war has to be there. So the play largely talks about war. War is a very important concept in the play. And the title is taken from Virgil, the ancient poet Virgil's Aeneid. Okay, and in Aeneid, Virgil actually glorifies war, and there is an introduction which says, "Of arms and the man I sing." So Virgil, in ancient times, in olden time, the poet Virgil, in his work Aeneid, actually glorifies war. But what is happening in G.B Shaw's Arms and the Man, that was written in the year, first enacted in the year 1894? Here, G.B Shaw is actually highlighting upon the futility of war, the waste of resources, and above all, human lives when war happens. Whenever war takes place, doesn't matter if the country wins or lost, there will be a huge loss when it comes to resources, the money, and also loss of human lives. So this is being highlighted in the play. The romantic notion, the romanticizing of war by Virgil, here it is the opposite. It is actually not romanticizing war, unlike Virgil in Aeneid. So G.B Shaw rightly points out, as according to him, as seen in the play, wars are a waste of money and human lives. Let's move on to the background of the play. Now, it is set in during the Serbian-Bulgarian War of 1885. Both these countries are East European countries sharing a border, and they had been fighting with each other. So let's quickly go on to the characters of the play. The most important characters of the play, of course, are the Petkov family. There is Raina Petkov, a young woman, the female protagonist. Her name is Raina. And there is her father. His name is Major Paul Petkov. And of course, there is the mother, whose name is Catherine Petkoff. Now, these are very important characters. Apart from them, there is Sergei. Sergei Saranov is Raina's fiance. Then there is Loka and Nikola, who works for the Petkov family. But the main protagonist is somebody who is not an acquaintance of this family, and his name is Captain Bluntschli. We will discuss about the man, but first and the foremost, let's look at the Petkov family. The Petkov family belong to the aristocratic or high class family of Bulgaria. Raina's father is a major in the army. He is also in the battlefield, and along with him, Sergei Skarnov, who is Raina's would-be fiance, Sergei Saranov, he also is in the battle. So when the play opens in Raina's bedroom, and she is seen admiring Sergei's photograph, a very heroic photograph of Sergei, where he has worn the army uniform. So, in Raina's mind, Sergei, the real person, does not matter. For her, Sergei is a war hero. She has built a romantic picture of him in her mind, and she is in love with that romantic character Sergei and not the real human being Sergei. Nevertheless, the play proceeds and an interesting turn of events happen. Earlier, Raina and her mother has already been warned that since the war is going on, there might be some Serbian army who would actually be hiding, and they might enter their houses without their permission. So they have already been warned. But Raina does not listen to this warning and leaves her bedroom window open. What happens in the night when the play opens is that a stranger enters Raina's bedroom, and he introduces himself as Captain Bluntschli. Now, who is Captain Bluntschli? We come to know that he is a mercenary soldier who has been hired by the Serbian side. So they are the enemy of the Petkov family, because the Petkovs belong to the Bulgarian side of the war. Now, what is a mercenary? A mercenary is a soldier who fights not because he loves his country. He fights for other countries because he will be paid to fight. Here too, Bluntschli belongs to Switzerland. He is a Swiss citizen, but he fights for Serbia against Bulgaria because the Serbs will pay him a very respectable amount of money. And it is clearly seen that Bluntschli is a very, very good war strategist. He is a clever person, a clever military personnel who has smart war or military strategies. Now, somehow Raina and Bluntschli starts interacting. At first, Raina is very scared. However, later on, they are acquainted with each other as Bluntschli is hiding. And Raina is surprised at Bluntschli's ideologies and beliefs when it comes to the war, because it is completely different from her romantic notion of war. We already know that she is in love with this romantic idea of Sergei, who is supposed to be this brave, gallant knight fighting in the battle. In fact, she doesn't know the real human side of Sergei. And here is this man, Captain Bluntschli, who tells her that he does not carry a gun, and in place of gun he cares more about chocolates, because a man needs to survive. It is important to survive than to live for a country, than to die for a country. So Bluntschli frankly tells Raina that he does not believe in living for the country, because for him, more than patriotism, one's survival is important. That is the reason why he carries chocolate in place of a gun. Chocolates that will fill his empty stomach, is rather of greater importance than guns that will kill the enemy. So that is the interaction between Captain Bluntschli and Raina. Now, as the play proceeds, Sergei also comes back along with Paul Petkov. Bluntschli comes to meet them, and there we come to know that Raina had given a coat to Bluntschli because he was shivering that night, and inside the coat she had kept a photograph of hers where she had written Chocolate Cream Man. So Chocolate Cream Man becomes a pet name of Bluntschli. As the play continues, important revelations takes place. Sergei himself, we come to know, is having a romantic relationship with Loka, and Loka tells him that Raina might not be faithful to him, and when Bluntschli comes to meet them, Sergei challenges him for a duel, a sword fight. However, Captain Bluntschli is a very intelligent man. He does not believe in war. He does not believe in trying to be a hero in front of other people. He dismisses the idea of fighting with each other, because according to him, fighting wastes one's energy and sometimes even leads to death of someone, death of an individual without any reason. A life is lost for no reason in a war, a battle, or a duel. That is what Bluntschli believes in. So the play, of course, ends with Raina and Bluntschli getting married, Loka and Sergei getting married. What is important out here is Bluntschli's message of the futility of war exploiting the resources of a country, war being a way of spending not only one's money, not only one's energy, but also life. So he has a very different take on patriotism, and this makes him a very different kind of a hero. He is also known as Captain Bluntschli is also known as an anti-romantic hero.